Morning, everyone. So happy, what is it? Reconciliation Day. That's the day we're celebrating today, which is a public holiday for those of us in South Africa. But I think the other thing is that for many people, but in South Africa in particular, this is the day that marks the beginning of the holidays. It's a public holiday, builders' holidays, the day that everybody kind of stops and from now on becomes the holidays, from now till whenever we go back to work or we go back to school. And let's admit that this year is a very, very different one for many of us. Hi Alex, great to see you this morning. And yeah, it's a very different one for us. We had a presidential announcement on Monday which has scuppered a lot of people's holiday plans, what they thought it was going to be. And asking people over the last few weeks how they're feeling. Checking with clients how they're feeling, checking in with talks I've been doing, checking in with friends. I've asked people to give one word, and in fact I'd love you all to do that now. Give me one word of how you're feeling right now. So it could be anything, could be today, or it could be just sort of like how you're feeling specifically this day, wherever you are, or also how you're feeling in terms of where at the end of this year. So I'd like to really know about that. But when I've been talking to people over the last few weeks, the words that have come up most often are overwhelmed, finished, tired, exhausted, spent. Yeah, I mean, I think those are very kind of common words of how people are feeling at this time of year. And when we start thinking about those words, I want to bring up a real difference, quite a subtle difference, but really is quite important, which is the difference between tiredness, exhaustion, fatigue, whatever you want to call it, the difference between that and being depleted. And I think that these two things are very similar, and we often mistake one as another, and yet they are quite different, and what they need, the cure that is needed, is different for both of them. So what the difference is, for those of you who've done weight exercises at the gym, we work to a point of fatigue. We work our muscles to a point of fatigue where they literally cannot sort of do anything more. They're exhausted. And for that, you need rest. And same thing, you rest your muscles, we rest ourselves. And at this time of year, when we're feeling so tired, sleep deficit, the exhaustion of this year building up, we need sleep and we need rest and relaxation. And it's a kind of like doing nothing. But the interesting thing is depletion is different. And I'll give you a metaphor of that. If you think of a bucket of water with a slow leak in it, it doesn't matter how much you rest that bucket of water, it's not going to get filled again. It's not going to get mended. That needs something different doing to it. And that is what I want to talk about for us in terms of needing something different when we're feeling depleted. And I think a lot of us are feeling really depleted at the moment because we have been giving out all year. We have been giving out emotionally. We've been giving out spiritually. We've been giving out intellectually, we've been giving out physically, we've been giving out all year, and we've been giving out more than we've been putting in, and so that leads to this feeling of depletion, and depletion needs something different. So whereas tiredness and exhaustion needs rest and relaxation, it needs doing nothing, depletion needs something different, which is refilling. We need to refill ourselves, we need to nourish ourselves, we need to restore ourselves. And for that, we have to do purposeful activities. We need to set an intention of how we're going to do that. Because think about that leaky bucket. What we need refilling. So there are different things that we need for that. And each of us needs something different. But we need to really fill up our inner resources, which have been drained away through the course of the year. And there are different things that are going to feel like they're depleting to some of us, and other things that feel refilling. So have a think about that for yourself. I mean, some of the ideas that I know feel refilling to me are spending time alone. That feels refilling. That can feel depleting to other people. And again, just think about the difference between feeling depleted or feeling full. If you are feeling full, like your bucket is full, you will feel energized and also energizing to others. You'll give it off, and but you'll feel like you can energize other people as well. When you're feeling depleted, you feel like you have got nothing left for yourself, and you've got nothing left to give other people. So that's the sort of the difference. What do you need? So these are different ways. Spending time in nature, really just being immersed, even if it's just sitting on a bench somewhere, but spending time in nature, observing what's going on, observing the bugs, observing the plants, observing the bees, just being in nature, walking slowly, and not about exercising, getting your 10,000 steps in, none of that. It's really about just walking slowly. I went for a beautiful walk in the vineyards this morning with a friend. It's about that as well, maybe spending time consciously with one person, not huge, great social activities, which again can feel depleting, but about spending conscious time with one person. About regular times of meditation or prayer. We know how vital those are to replenish ourselves. Being creative, to do something creative if that's not your normal thing. And remember, this is about sort of what feels replenishing. I was talking to a friend recently who's a potter, and she needs something different to replenish her, because when she's creative, she's giving out, she's doing that all the time. So she needs to do something different to replenish her. Reading, that can be replenishing for many people, replenishing, that feels certainly for me. Listening to music attentively is another thing. So we're talking about really not music as a background noise, but actually sitting and listening to music, which fills your soul. And this really is about filling up your soul. What fills your soul? Gardening. Could be gardening. That's both sort of like being intentional, being creative, and spending time in nature, all of those things together. So those are some of the things, and just have a think about that. What feels draining for you? What feels depleting? And what feels like it's replenishing you? What feels like you're refilling your bucket? Because what we want is we want both rest and relaxation, the doing nothing, but we also want the purposeful replenishment and doing something as well. So over the holidays, please hold those two things in balance and know that you're going to need both of them. Come back. So when you come back at the beginning of the new year, wherever your new year starts again, you have got the energy to carry on, because, much as we like to think, oh, thank God 2020 is over and done with, January the 1st, 2021 is not going to be a huge amount different. Not a huge amount is going to have changed. So think about what it is that you need. It is going to be different for every single one of us. And let's just be conscious about what we need. My intention, I'll tell you how I get on with that, is I know that walking is really good for me, really good for my soul, spending time in nature. And I'm so fortunate to live in Cape Town, where I can 5 minutes away be in a vineyard or up a mountain or on the green belt. And I am going to try and do that every single day of the holidays to replenish my soul. I'd love to know what you're going to do, so please give us a comment on what it is that you're doing. And I wish you all a really restful and replenishing holiday, and pray that this is going to be a time of filling up from the inside, so that next year you have energy, you can be energizing to others, and that you feel that you can go into the new year with your resilience tanks topped up again. Great to see you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful holiday.